Good morning. 12 people are dead after a terrorist attack of a satirical magazine, Charlie Hebdo. A large-scale manhunt for the gunman is currently still underway. The speech gone viral. North Koreans are not just anybody's to South Koreans. South Korean ambassador to the United Nations, Oh Joon, joins us via Skype. The icy wonderlands of Hongcheon and the Hwacheon counties get out to enjoy the winter season fun. Joey Mercadante has that for us.
What an amazing...
And upping the game, the furniture industry gets bigger and better for the new year. 2015's Trends in Furniture on Korea Today, Thursday, January 8, 2015.
From Arirang News, this is Korea Today.
Hello and welcome to Korea Today on this Thursday morning. I'm Oh Joon with Kim Young and Kim Min-jung.
Good morning, everyone. We begin with that horrific news out of Paris, France this morning, where gunmen went on a shooting spree at the office of a satirical French magazine, killing at least 12 people and critically injuring some 20 others. The gunmen are still on the loose. We'll get the details on the story with our Eunice Kim, who joins us from the news center. Good morning to you, Eunice.
Good morning.
Now, a little about the magazine Charlie Hebdo to better understand this story. So it has a long history of mocking not just Islam, but also other religions through cartoons designed to be controversial. Now, do authorities know who did it, and what else do we know?
Well, young police have identified 3 people in this operation to kill, including 2 brothers, French nationals in their 30s, who reportedly returned from Syria this summer. The other is said to be an 18-year-old from the suburbs whose citizenship is still yet unknown. French authorities are scrambling to locate and arrest them, as President François Hollande called this an attack against the French Republic.
Fusillade d'une violence extrême.
This shooting of extreme violence killed 12 people and injured several more. Greatly talented cartoonists, courageous journalists are dead. They left their mark on generations and generations of French through their influence, through their insolence, through their rare independence. Here, I want to say to them that this message of freedom, we will continue to defend it in their name.
Soon after the noontime shooting, France was put on its highest terrorist alert. Thursday has been designated a day of mourning for the country. Now, on Wednesday, 2 hooded gunmen stormed an editorial meeting at the offices of Charlie Hebdo. They were very methodical and intentional in their movements, reportedly calling out their victims' names before shooting them, starting with the editor-in-chief, Sharb, as well as prominent cartoonists and other members of that editorial meeting. Now, minutes later, the shooters were seen leaving the building to get into a waiting black car, but they got away when they ditched that car and hijacked another vehicle. Altogether, 12 are dead this morning, including 8 journalists and 2 police officers. The magazine, Charlie Hebdo, had been under security, especially after its offices were firebombed back in 2011 after it issued a cover featuring a caricature of Prophet Muhammad, which is banned in the Muslim world.
Surely a daring and very shocking operation, not just a lone wolf type of thing, but very organized as well. And people around the world are reacting to this piece of news and rallying behind France in their time of need.
Absolutely, and people in France are standing up as well, holding up signs that say, Je suis Charlie Hebdo, which means I am Charlie Hebdo. That's also trending on Twitter as well. World leaders also reacting within hours, condemning the attack.
Thank you very much. This horrific attack is meant to divide. We must not fall into that trap. This is a moment for solidarity. Around the world, we must stand strong for freedom of expression and tolerance and stand against the forces of division and hate.
This country stands united with the French people in our opposition to all forms of terrorism, and we stand squarely for free speech and democracy. And these people will never be able to take us off those values.
Candlelight vigils are being held in cities across Europe. Here, outside the French embassy in Berlin, Germany, hundreds of people came out to show their solidarity with the victims and their families. Others held up signs showing the caricature portraits of the deceased, including Charlie Hebdo's co-founder, editor-in-chief, and cartoonist.
All right, thank you very much, Eunice. Now we'll shift our focus to domestic news. Now, Finance Minister Choi Kyung-hwan dismissed concerns over falling oil prices, leading to deflation and the further weakening of demand, saying the recent plunge in global oil prices may prove to be a huge opportunity. Now, during an economic ministerial meeting on Wednesday, Choi outlined that the decline in oil prices is fundamentally different from deflation, which roots from shortages of demand and not oversupply. Citing projections from 5 state-run think tanks, Choi said Korea would save $30 billion in oil import expenses if crude prices maintain an average of $63 per barrel, which doesn't look too far off as the Brent crude on Wednesday dipped below $50 a barrel for the first time since the year 2009. The Dubai crude has also been hovering under and over the $50 mark.
President Park Geun-hye is scheduled to hold a New Year's press conference next Monday where she will outline her government's plans to revive the economy and also address North Korea. The presidential office of Cheongwade said on Wednesday that she will use the opportunity to flesh out her 3-year economic innovation plan in consideration of the new budget and also take questions from reporters. President Park is also set to reveal her plans to tackle the standoff with North Korea in the new year during the 90-minute live televised address. She is expected to touch upon a possible inter-Korean summit as well. Last year, one of the major talking points at the president's New Year's speech was her vision for a peaceful unification.
But I'm saying this with a heavy heart because for South Koreans, people in North Korea are not just anybody's. Millions of South Koreans still have our family members and relatives living in the North. We only hope that one day in the future, when we look back on what we did today, we will be able to say that we did the right thing for the people of North Korea, for the lives of every man and woman, boy and girl who has the same human rights as the rest of us. Thank you.
South Korea's 2-year term as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council came to an end at the end of last year. And that speech you just saw by South Korean ambassador to the UN, Oh Joon, during the last UN Security Council meeting South Korea took part in on December 22nd, has gone viral in and out of the country. Today we have Ambassador Oh joining us via Skype from New York. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Ambassador.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So your speech at the meeting really moved a lot of people here in Korea, not to mention the UN ambassadors that were present for it. I personally teared up the first time I saw the video. So, Ambassador Oh, what led you to make this speech?
Well, that was actually the last meeting for South Korea, for our Security Council term, actually. And it happened to be a meeting where we were discussing the North Korean human rights issue for the first time in history. So I thought that I need to give the representatives of other Security Council members how we feel about this issue, how we have this special feeling and special thinking about this situation.
Mm-hmm. And the speech especially touched the hearts of the younger generation, those in their 20s and 30s. A lot of them posted or retweeted your speech on social media. It was an opportunity for them to really connect with the issue. What do you think?
Well, I don't know exactly why that happened, but it seems to me that because my statement, especially the last part of my statement, was addressed to the audience in the United Nations. So those diplomats from other countries who do not have direct experience in terms of inter-Korean relations, the division of Korean nation. So I thought I need to give them, I need to tell them that we have this special relationship on the Korean Peninsula, but I didn't have too much time, so I was going to deliver my message kind of directly and kind of a frank manner. And I think that that sort of appealed to the young generation in Korea too, because probably unlike my generation, young people in South Korea, they only have indirect experience vis-a-vis North Korea. Even their parents were born after the Korean War. So I think that my message to representatives of other UN members probably appealed to younger generation in South Korea as well.
It surely was effective. And the UN Security Council added the issue of human rights violations in North Korea to its official agenda during that meeting. Have there been further discussions or progress on the issue, perhaps outside the UN Security Council framework over the past 2 weeks or so?
Not really. And actually, it's quite rare for the UN Security Council to deal with any human rights issues. In fact, there have been only a couple of cases when the Security Council discussed human rights issues of a specific country. So this was the third time, because not least because usually issues like human rights are usually dealt with in the General Assembly and the Human Rights Council in Geneva. So it's quite rare. And the Security Council only deals with human rights issues when the situation is so serious that they consider that it has to do with the maintenance of peace and security.
So that just shows how dire the human rights situation is in North Korea. And South Korea's term as a non-permanent member of the Security Council has ended, as you mentioned, but I imagine you'll remain quite busy when it comes to the human rights situation in the North. What are your plans for this year?
Well, this year, like I said, we in the United Nations, we have regular forums where we discuss human rights issues all over the world, including the DPRK's human rights. So they are General Assembly, and we have a committee called the Third Committee on the General Assembly, and also in Geneva they have Human Rights Council. So we will continue to deal with the North Korea's human rights issues in these forums. And if things get worse, I hope that's not going to happen, but if things get worse in terms of North Korea's human rights situation, then the Security Council will pick this issue up again and we'll have to take action on it.
So definitely another busy year ahead of you. It was great talking to you this morning, Ambassador Oh. We thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
That was South Korean Ambassador to the UN, Oh Joon, sharing his thoughts on the North Korean human rights issue. Good morning. It's time to run through the front pages of your newspapers. Now, of course, all of the local papers today are also highlighting the horrendous attack you heard about earlier at the top of the hour at the Paris office of French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo. Now, if we look at Gyeongyang Shinmun to start out in print, the article and the image here, you heard the details and updates earlier on from Eunice. Korean dailies here are emphasizing it was an apparent militant Islamist attack in which gunmen shot dead 12 people, and a major police operation is underway to find the 3 gunmen still at large, reportedly Al-Qaeda, who fled after the terrorist crime scene. Now, leaving that there, we'll go on to some domestic issues.
First here on 동아일보, and the title reads, 4 major industries likely to experience oil price shock, and that is an assessment that was made by 5 state-funded think tanks, including the Korea Development Institute, in a joint report yesterday. If we take a look at the sub-headlines here, they said there's thus a need for restructuring at such businesses. The 4 major industries, they refer to oil refining, petrochemical, automobile, and shipbuilding. And the research institutes warned that although the plummeting international oil prices may have a positive impact on the local economy, that's what Minister Choi Kyung-hwan also noted yesterday. The 4 key industries of Korea would likely be hit hard negatively, making it unavoidable to opt for restructuring. And now on to 조선일보 for a headline here towards the bottom of the front page. And this one is about education. Now, the title says, must reinforce unification education in schools. And these are words coming out from Education Minister Hwang Woo-yeol yesterday in an interview with The Daily. And if we look at the article closer, he stressed the importance of needing to come up with systematic measures to create an integrated education system for the 2 Koreas and their students, and that now is the time to appropriately prepare for a potential unification in the education sector as well. Now, wrapping up with a look at the Korea Economic Daily for this side story. This one is about biotech companies. And the headline says, bio ventures overtake ICT companies. And if we take a look at this graph, as you can see here, the paper says investment in biotech companies has been increasing significantly in recent years, since 2010. And with new bio ventures bringing in a capital of over $90 million, the biotech industry has surpassed the ICT, or information and communications technology, manufacturing sector for the first time ever. And that was a look at our local headlines this Thursday. And coming up are the stock numbers from Wednesday.
All right, it's not as cold as yesterday, but it is still freezing outside. If you are going to head out in the morning, I'm sure you're going to need to take a scarf with you at least, right?
That's right. And our Chun Sung-cho is standing by outdoors. Without further ado, let's save her from this cold and go straight to her right now
or
for a check
just leave her hanging for a little bit.
Get a check of today's weather conditions. Good morning to you, Sung-cho.
Young and Minjung, good morning to you. Or maybe not so good morning, Young. It's freezing outside. It's even colder than yesterday. Temperatures here in Seoul are running about 5 degrees below normal at -9 degrees Celsius. And it feels like -12 with the wind chills as well. Cold wave advisories have been expanded to bigger areas stretching across the majority of Gangwon-do Province and parts of northern Gyeonggi-do and Chungcheongbuk-do provinces. The reason behind this bitter cold snap across the country is a high-pressure system over central China that's sending cold air out our way along its edge. And it's also keeping clouds out of the skies over the peninsula, hence colder temperatures. Mercury levels have dropped to as low as -20 degrees at Daegyeong of mountainous Gangwon-do Province, so you better throw on the warmest pieces of clothing that you own on your way out this morning. And also, what you need to worry about on such days is your home's water pipes from freezing or bursting. So one of the tips, if you're concerned, is to leave the faucet running, even at just a trickle. It's going to prevent the water pipes from freezing up. And with that, let's take a closer look at today's readings around the nation. Mercury levels will stop rising and stay on the negative side even in the afternoon here in Seoul. Things are looking a bit warmer toward the south, such as Busan and Jeju at 8 degrees Celsius. Warmer conditions are in the forecast starting tomorrow afternoon. And this is all for me with the weather forecast. Back to the studio, Minjang.
Thank you very much, Sungcho. Let's now check back in with our Eunice Kim for more headlines from around the world. Hello again, Eunice.
Hello.
Now, encouraging development in the search for Air Asia Flight 8501, search crews have found part of the tail in the Java Sea.
Yeah, that's right. It is confirmed now. The head of the search team says the tail was spotted by divers and unmanned underwater vehicles, and we have images to show you as well. Bambang Solistio said the wreckage is at a secondary search area some 9 kilometers away from where Flight 8501, which of course was bound for Singapore, lost contact on December 28th. It's buried in mud, upside down, in water some 30 meters deep. Finding the tail is a significant development, of course, as it houses the black boxes, or potentially houses the black boxes, the voice and flight data recorders, which could give investigators clues as to the cause of this crash. One more body was recovered on Wednesday as well, bringing the total to 40. Authorities believe many of the 122 other people who were on board may still be strapped inside the main body of the plane.
Now, onto some business news now. The Eurozone has another headache, it looks like, to contend with. The currency bloc has officially slumped into deflation for the first time in 5 years as oil prices continue to tumble.
Right. According to the European Statistics Office's end-of-year estimates released on Wednesday, consumer prices across the Eurozone dropped by 0.2% in December from the same month in 2013. Now, this fall was mostly being attributed to free falling oil prices, which of course has been a big story in these early days of 2015. Brent crude has slipped to roughly $50 a barrel, having plunged more than half since last year's high of $115. Analysts say declining oil prices are expected to increase business and consumer spending, but a long period of falling prices can choke the economy and prove difficult to get out of.
All right, we'll have to leave it at that. Thank you very much, Eunice.
Sure thing.
Now, stay with us on Korea Today. We're going to take a trip to Gangwon-do Province for a bit of winter season fun. This region is full of festivals to explore, and Korea Discovered brings you the icy wonderlands at Hongcheon and Hwacheon counties, so don't go away.
It's quite an accomplishment for an artist to have their work displayed at a major museum, but the National Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art is extending that opportunity to the young artists out there who might not be so well established just yet. And our Yimin Hee joins us with more on that. Good morning.
Good morning.
So did you get something hung up on there?
Well, I'm not quite there yet, working on that. Hopefully I'll get in while I'm still young. But the National Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art, one of their oldest resident programs is the Young Korean Artist Program. Now this program identifies any young artist with potential and it puts their work on exhibition. And so the 2014 edition of the program has put their artists, their finalist works on display. Here's a look at some of the artists to keep an eye out for next year.
Silently, a cloud of reaching hands, shivering in the wind. A peek into a land of fantasy and wonder. But what are these hands reaching for? And where is this water going? A huge pile of what appears to be rubbish, overrun by flowing water. A seemingly wasteful cycle. A handful of the most talented up-and-coming young Korean artists illustrate their views and comments on the problems of our society.
The Young Korean Artist Program was started in 1982 at MMCA, and this time, for the 18th edition, we've chosen 8 different artists over 40 different works of various styles. Previous artists took more direct approaches to their works, but these artists took an oblique approach that resulted in dark, fairy tale-like experience.
And through this dark fairy tale theme, these artists convey their message. Such as young artist No Sang-ho, whose Martian wagon looks like it came right from the circus. The dozens of plaster drawings tell the stories of individuals, people encountered by the artist himself.
I took this piece to the streets and told my story to the people. Then I would listen to their stories as well as their feedback to my story. After that, it would be my turn again, and I would write my story once more. This process is what led to my next project.
This time, artist No creates a visually limited experience, causing a heightened response to each image and drawing that does get caught by the spotlight. Images from the circus with a shroud of eerie gloom. They hang next to drawings of people, stories of individuals, who all, coincidentally, are visually impaired, hindered either by opaque glasses or by a complete lack of eyes altogether.
This piece is about a town full of blind people, and that's exactly what you'll experience as well. You can't see every part of the piece, just what your flashlight allows. Because people cannot see the entire meaning of the work, it requires them to use their imagination to connect the drawings and ultimately connect the dots. Through this project, you can enter and exit a whole different world.
And other artists turn to different senses, some more pungent than others. A revolting stench that overrides all other senses, except the sense of urgency. They're abstract works of art that contain images of life and death, things we encounter in our everyday lives. Ideas and thoughts that are up for interpretation, that will hopefully someday lead to a better tomorrow.
So the underlying theme is young artists, right? And giving them an opportunity to really showcase what they have. But is there another theme to this? Is there a theme involved? Is there a certain message that these young artists are trying to convey?
Right, so all of these artists are addressing an issue that they feel is present in our society. And so you just saw in the report the giant sort of tarp-looking thing that's actually drenched in urine. And so that's a work called Bedwetting by artist Kim Do-hee. And that artist wanted to convey this message of, children's nightmares and this, I guess, the result of that. And so as a viewer, you kind of reflect on your own traumas and your own nightmares as well. So this is the kind of work that these artists want to get out there, this message. They want people to reflect on themselves and on society.
So can you contrast to our viewers, the difference between these young artists and what the type of art that artists with decades of experience can bring?
So what I noticed with these works is that these artists have sort of a raw sense to their work. And so there's definitely a sense of like laxness. So actually when I was talking to one of the artists, I asked him, or I told him how I felt, how the message I was getting from his work. And he was like, well, I didn't really think about that, but that works as well. And so they really are open to, I guess, different types of interpretation with their works.
Well, you're absolutely right. My daughter, let me just say a little thing about my daughter. She actually won an award for one of her art pieces there, and it was hung up on a wall of some subway station for a little while. But one of the things to garner or to help these young artists really open up and become the best is not to really block their image and keep them in a box, but show them what's outside the box and what they can discover, right?
Well, maybe we'll see her work in the museum in a few years.
I hope, but I doubt it.
Okay, keep fingers crossed.
All right, thank you very much, Uni, for that.
You're always welcome.
All right, still ahead on Korea Today, we're going to be looking at some furniture, which is really going to up the game for the furniture market in the year 2015. There's a lot of different trends when it comes to your indoor furniture as well. It gets bigger and better for the new year, from designs unique to Korean furniture to great service and stylish marketing strategies. Check out the 2015 trends in furniture on K-Style. Yes, I'm still going through puberty.
You probably didn't want to know that, but yeah, the 2015 Consumer Electronics Show, the world's biggest technology trade show, is currently underway in Las Vegas.
Right, and there's quite a buzz surrounding washing machines made by Korean tech giants Samsung and LG. We'll find out what this buzz is all about with our Arirang, who joins us in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, there's a narrative for each CES at each year's CES, and this year it was all about 4K ultra high definition TVs, driverless driverless cars and Internet of Things. Now, both Samsung and LG do have cutting-edge technology and products for these, but the real dark horse this year, as you mentioned, that everyone's talking about, are the washing machines. So let's have a look. Samsung, they've essentially combined a top-loading machine with a built-in sink for pre-treatment. The sink has its own water jet and specialized surfaces to help scrub out tough stains. Then once you're done, you just lift up the sink and then it goes straight into the wash. Meanwhile, LG's washing machine hides under your existing washing machine so that you can do 2 loads at the same time. You don't have to wait for one to finish. Just pull the drawer out and you have a mini compartment to handle clothes with different needs.
They look very futuristic.
They do.
They
just
used
the
to be
silver.
called the white home appliances, 백색 가전, but not
white
anymore.
goods.
Right.
They're silver goods now, chrome goods.
And you can do the white or the light-colored clothes in one, and then the dark-colored clothes all together at the same time. A very convenient feature we have.
No more
here.
gray socks.
Or pink shirts. And the Samsung one is great as well. You know, if there are a lot of laundries, especially in office styles, they don't have a separate sink, so you have to go back and forth if you're going to pre-treat them. So, you know, very convenient. And you know what's interesting here? It's kind of ironic that, you know, in an electronics fair where everyone's busy trying to outdo each other with the latest cutting-edge technology, top-notch technology, that something, you know, relatively humble is getting people's attention. But sometimes it's the simplest things that are the best.
Right.
And next, some interesting results about happiness. So the Hyundai Research Institute asked over 800 adults in Korea and asked them about their happiness in general and satisfaction with their economic status. They then analyzed this across different demographic factors such as gender, age, education, and so on, and this is what they found. Marriage status, unmarried or never married people were the happiest. Divorced were the unhappiest. Easy to see why. Gender-wise, females were happier. They tended to be happier than males. Age-wise, those in their 20s were the happiest. Those in their 40s were the unhappiest. So those in their 30s, 50s, 60s, and so on, there were somewhere in between. So when you combined all this together, what they found, the happiest cohort in Korea are unmarried females in their 20s with a postgraduate degree and a professional career.
You, Misoran.
Jinju almost made the list, but not quite. Not quite.
The unhappiest cohort, divorced males in their 40s with an undergraduate degree and self-employed. Some interesting results. And wrapping up, Keanu Reeves, Hollywood actor Keanu Reeves arrived in Korea last night. So here he is, arriving through the Incheon International Airport. Now, this is his second time being in Korea. His last visit was 7 years ago to promote film Street King in 2008. He is here until this Friday to promote his latest film, John Wick. Now, in related to his visit to Korea, there was a little online poll about which was his favorite, or which was his best movie. So what do you guys think? What are your
Speed.
opinions?
Me too. It's inarguable.
Speed. And also something November. I'm trying to wrap my brain.
Romance.
Right. It's just
Walk in Romance in November? Walk in November?
Something like that.
I know what you're
it was a long
talking
time
about.
ago that
A romantic.
that movie had come out, so I don't remember. But.
Something romantic, right?
Right.
I can picture the poster, but not the name. So according to this poll, the top 3 responses were Matrix, of course, Constantine, and A Walk in the Clouds. And possibly John Wick. Now we have to see until it comes out.
Let's try to get an interview with this guy.
For personal reasons?
Us 3 can go for the interview.
Thank you so much, Misoran.
You're welcome.
And a good Thursday morning to you all as we kick things off in Formula One racing, where after several provisional schedules were released, it's confirmed now that the Korean Grand Prix will be left off in the 2015 season. And according to Bernie Ecclestone, the head of Formula One management, he had to include the Korean Grand Prix in the provisional schedule in order to avoid legal actions from the local organizers. And while a breach of contract lawsuit was an issue to be worried about, it's highly unlikely that a lawsuit will take place, as experts believe that the event will be left off in the 2016 calendar as well. Now, it's true that there has been less interest in figure skating here in the nation ever since the figure queen Kim Yeon-ah retired from the sport last year. But Come on, it's not like NBA fans don't watch the game because Michael Jordan retired many years ago, right? Well, figure skating fans in the nation headed over to the Mokdong Ice Rink on Tuesday as the 2015 National Figure Skating Championship kicked off. Now, despite Kim Yeona not competing in the event, all eyes are on Yeona's kids, especially Park So-yeon, who is looking to win her first gold medal in the event. Meanwhile, on the final day of the event, Kim Yeona will be on hand to give out the medals to the winners. Now, football, or soccer, as it's called in some parts of the world, is the most popular sport in the world. But it's no secret that one of the things that taint the sport is all the diving and the, oh, I'm hurt when I'm really not moments we often see on the pitch, right? But the Asian Football Confederation plans to regulate all that during the upcoming 2015 Asian Cup in Australia, where the officials plan to get more strict on hard tackles, simulations, and time-killing actions by the players. Of course, meanwhile, the 2015 Asian Cup kicks off tomorrow as Korea plays their first group stage match on Saturday against Oman. And that's going to wrap it up for me. This has been SJ. Have a great rest of the day and see you guys again for your sports needs.
So we mentioned a few days ago that trout fishing is the it thing to do these days. So much so that trout is becoming a rare commodity these days.
Oh, wow. So it's that time of the year when everyone just starts catching them, whether it's with a little fishing rod or by hand. There's a lot of these activities that go on in the Hongcheon County and another county that we're going to tell you about. And Joey Mercadante joins us with more on that. Good morning, Joey.
Good morning.
Good morning. You know, it's so hard for me to pick just one activity per week to do. There's so much to choose from, especially when it comes to winter getaways. But when most people say winter getaway, what they think of right away is Gangwon-do. And today I'm going to take you to Gangwon-do and two counties in particular, the Hongcheon County and the Hwacheon. And let's not waste any time. Let's go. We're off to the winter wonderland of Korea, Gangwon-do Province. There are a lot of mountains in the area with terrains at high altitude, so it's usually the first to see snow in the country and the last. The snow and ice make Gangwon-do quite scenic, not to mention perfect for winter fun. Hongcheon is a county in western Gangwon-do Province. Around this time of year, it becomes alive with the Hongcheon-gang River Winter Festival, an event taking place beside and on Hongcheon-gang River. They have a lot of activities for visitors, plus the main event is ice fishing.
The ice is perfect. So many people. I'm ready to catch a really big fish. Let's do it.
Now you take your special trout fishing rod and let the fishing line into the water. Then you wait until you feel the fish nibble at your bait. You need a lot of patience.
와, 완전 멋있어요.
This festival goer caught 6. Now how did he do it? Well, here's my strategy.
Kids are
Welcome to
getting
Joey's
bored.
master fishing class. For ice fishing, the best technique is to look down into the water.
Really?
So that when you see the fish, boom!
Yeah, you can really see them. Now while I waited, I could hear shouts of joy from people who caught their trout. It looked like it was definitely worth the wait.
Wow, look at that.
My daughter trying to catch something for me. It's a great feeling.
I finally caught something after waiting 30 minutes. I'm surprised to see it's bigger than I had imagined, and it's very strong.
Oh! I think I got something!
Oh, what do you know?
I caught the first one, and now it's time to keep going. More and more and more fish. This is so much fun.
I know it's alive. Now I don't know why, but the one trout gave me the confidence to do what these brave festival goers were doing, going straight into the pools to catch trout with their bare hands.
I would rather do that.
Really?
Wait.
Oh, wow.
The water is cold, but I think I can catch 2.
I'm so excited. My competitive juices are flowing. I can't wait to get in the water. I feel the competition beginning.
Now first off, you may think that this is easy, But I'm telling you from experience that these trout are fast and they're slippery. So even if you do catch one, they'll slip out of your frozen hands and swim away.
Oh, I thought that they gave you gloves.
No, but I wasn't leaving empty-handed.
Do they bite?
Oh, it was so cold, but it was so much fun. And tonight I'm gonna have some grilled trout. Woohoo!
They don't bite. From the water straight into our bellies. That's what this tent was for. This is the only
Just waiting in
on.
line to get my fish fried up on the grill.
Wow.
Now visitors get to choose whether they want to eat their trout as hue, raw, or grilled. I tried both, and they roast it in an oak barrel, just slightly salted.
Yeah, I say this every year, but these trout, these are the only freshwater fish, or one of the very few that you can eat raw.
That's correct. And it just melts in your mouth, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, smells so nice. Would you like to try?
Now, trout is a high-quality freshwater fish. It's low in fat, high in protein, and it has a distinct, deep flavor, a winter delicacy.
It looks very much
This
like
trout
salmon.
is that it's been fed ginseng, so the meat, the texture of the meat is so different from any other fish. It's moist, juicy, tender, and it's just absolutely delicious. You gotta try it.
After a protein-packed snack, off to more activities. This ATV ride takes you through the water and over the ice. It's like being on your own amusement park ride.
Isn't it slippery?
That's the whole point, Jinju.
I'm still a little bit nauseous, but that was awesome. I've never been on one of those before in my life.
Woo! There are many festivals close by, and my next stop, Hwacheon County. Hwacheon gets crazy busy in January preparing for their famous Cherry Salmon Festival. They're also busy with events like this, the Ice Illumination Plaza, the biggest indoor ice sculpture venue in Korea. 35 Chinese sculptors from the Harbin Ice and Snow World work for a month to sculpt 27 pieces.
Beautiful.
This place is full of Korean tourist attractions that I have had the pleasure to see for myself, but these ones are special because they're made of ice.
Now there's a smaller yet equally impressive replica of Korea's Kobukson turtle ship, an ice statue of Admiral Lee Sun-shin, and some of the world wonders, and so much more.
You've basically moved the capital Seoul to that area.
Yeah, right?
I actually wonder how they brought all this ice over here.
Yeah, how did they?
The lighting is very pretty. Everything here is.
And outside the Ice Plaza is Hwacheon's famous street of lanterns called Sondung Street.
What an amazing winter festival. Totally makes you forget about any cold weather. You should come and try out some of the fun activities that I did today. Come to Gangwon-do and try it for yourself. You won't regret it.
All that ice gives me that shiver.
The chills, really?
Right, and the Hongcheon Festival, it's only in its third year, but I guess it's really popular. I can see so many visitors there.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And tons of people having lots of fun. You really don't notice the weather. It's the truth. Like, it was cold out there, but I totally forgot about it because I was involved in the ice fishing. And if you'd like to do the ice fishing, reservations are a must, especially on the weekends, because it's filled with families who'd like to give their children, nature experiences. And it is a very nice experience.
You would have to make that reservation. homewinter.or.kr.
That's correct.
This weekend.
You memorized it.
Right.
Yeah, lots of stuff to do and lots of stuff to eat as well.
All right, so ice fishing or rod fishing, whatever floats your boat, you get into it, right? But the question is the river actually itself. Is it a natural habitat for these fish, or is it like kind of a reservoir where they fill up the stock of fish?
So yeah, it actually is a natural habitat for these cherry trout, but the ones that I caught in the swimming pool have been farmed separately. So for 1 year, starting January, they're fed ginseng-enriched fish food. which makes these quite unique and special fish. So it's no wonder why you're only allowed to have 2, if you can catch 2, which I did.
So these fish, they get
a little bit of bragging. And, you know, they actually did a study that showed that the ginseng-enriched ones were juicier, plumper, which basically means they're more delicious and healthier for you.
Oh, I'm there this weekend. I'm completely sold. Now, there are snow festivals that are going on around the country as well.
Yeah, and in the Gangwon-do region. So there are 2 main festivals, and the first one is the Daegwalyeong Snow Festival, which is a great festival opening tomorrow. And it opens at Pyeongchang as a celebration of the upcoming 2018 Pyeongchang Olympics. Snow sculptures, you can try bobsleighing, and you can actually watch people participate in the naked marathon. It's not really fully naked. And the next one is the Taebaeksan Mountain Snow Festival, opening January the 23rd around the Taebaeksan Mountain Provincial Park. It's a 22-year-old festival that will take you on hikes on the snow-covered Taebaeksan Mountain, and you can participate in snow sculptures as well. So lots of fun winter activities for you there.
Something tells me Jinju's going to be in Pyeongchang this weekend for the naked marathon.
Right.
Who knows? We'll check back in.
Well, I'm definitely not going.
Yeah, you let me know when I do that. I'll bring my whole camera crew over there and feature a special story on
It's not so naked.
Well, I hope not. I think it's legal.
Though.
Naked enough to be cold, that's for sure.
All right. Thank you, Joey.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
Traditional Korean furniture has been lauded for its subtle elegance and grace that transcends time. Over decades, styles may have changed, but balance, proportion, and aesthetics remain strong points of Korea's furniture industry. Some characteristics of Korean furniture: lots and lots of storage space where we can pack things away that are off-season. Another trait is lightweight yet sturdy furniture because of how often Koreans move. Let's take a look at some ways the furniture markets are staying competitive this year. This company has been using embedded marketing, and their products are seen in many different TV variety programs, dramas, as well as in magazine layouts.
I guess you could say the overall style is cute, simple, modern, and practical, and we use a small design, which can bring a sense of joy to everyone.
They have a unique concept design that consumers recognize right away. They're platform toy designs. The cute, modern, and practical platform toy designs are expected to be their major sellers in 2015.
It's more affordable than I had imagined, and they're designed in a way that suits the taste of the younger generations.
This brand has won awards from the world's top 3 design competitions, IF, Red Dot, and the IDEA Awards, for its natural materials, practicality, and creativity.
We pride ourselves on the fact that we use 100% environmentally friendly materials, and rather than ornate decorations, we focus on bringing our customers honest, quality products that are practical.
They gained global acclaim for height-adjustable furniture for growing children and the curved desk chair created for correcting posture. In 2015, their furniture added more emphasis on natural, safe products in a wider variety of colors that appeal to children. To grab the customer's attention, furniture companies are providing fully furnished display rooms and holding a wide range of promotional events. Now let's take a closer look at the Korean furniture that's in style right now.
I've always dreamt of decorating my own house since I live with my parents right now, and I think today is the perfect opportunity for catch up with the latest trend in the Korean furniture industry. And joining us now is Punita Bajaj. Good morning.
Hello, welcome to our K-Style showroom that we prepared for you guys today. We have a lot of domestic furniture, starting from very traditional Korean furniture, ending with a little bit of a modern twist. So we have prepared right behind behind us, we have a bit of a green wooden type of traditional Korean furniture, and this is very unique because they are all hand painted. Now these are all wood products, and each and every drawer is painted by hand and handcrafted. And the reason why they are really popular is because there's so much storage space. I mean, if you put it in the bedroom or in the living room, you can put some underwear or some socks or maybe some CDs or DVDs. And they're really great to have as a statement furniture.
Now, Korean traditional furniture usually don't come in such bright colors. They're really toned down as far as I know, but these are really colorful, and that makes it more unique and gives that modern touch, I guess.
That's right, and especially I think most Korean people, most Korean couples and families, they go for the more neutral, toned down colors of the whole household. So if you really want to brighten up the mood, I think these statement furnitures kind of bring out the color of life as well.
And another dresser over here, it has a gold colored patch.
That's right.
I guess
right. These are more targeted to our older crowd. This, of course, is also handcrafted. Not the whole entire box, but each drawer again is hand painted, and if you can see very closely, there are lines. I don't know if you can tell, but these are how you can say maybe gold papers that they kind of paste on, so they don't really go through the industrial kind of printing process. So each are very unique.
So these are also made out of wood, but they painted or
and they patched and then painted and then laminated. So it's a really long process, and that's the reason why each of them are unique in its own way and very precious.
And I heard that flower or the birds here painted on it, or sometimes butterflies, they have their meaning.
They do. I mean, they do resemble happiness or love or fortune and harmony, and I think that's the reason why a lot of people want to bring that kind of energy into their house.
That's the traditional part of the Korean furniture, those paintings. And over here, is this a mini refrigerator?
See, that's what I thought. Many people, if you can see, it's a storage space. Now, it's a dressing table. The reason why this is really popular is because of the color. It's kind of like a mustard yellow, kind of like a Metro refrigerator type. But if you take a look at the inside, it's filled with a lot of storage space. And of course, this is actually a frame, and you can put in any type of picture or whatever mood that you're feeling. And this is not all.
What's there?
It's a vanity case.
So this is a dressing table.
Yes, it definitely is. I think this is more popular maybe for our college students out there who are living in dorm rooms.
Young couples or married couples.
Right, because when you first get married and you move into a small apartment, it might not be that roomy. So every little inch counts. And this is definitely so useful for our young women. Of course, it comes with a chair here that is perfect size. If you sit down, it's perfect view of your face for this beautiful furniture set. It's so useful.
Really amazing how much storage space it has, considering the size of this drawer plus dressing table, I guess.
It's all in one. It's really useful, and it comes with a little maybe I would use this for my laptop, maybe, or
the keyboard. Put it here and put your laptop here and connect it and use it.
It's very, very useful. And then moving on to our left side. These are so
funny-looking creatures.
I couldn't pass on to these. These are maybe for our interior designs. They're pretty lightweight, so yeah.
So this is for the toilet paper, I guess.
It could be for your bathroom, but a lot of people use toilet paper just regularly, everyday use. So it's kind of awkward and kind of ugly if you just pull out a roll of toilet paper. So this is really useful, and because on the bottom it has a little storage room for an extra roll.
So it'd be perfect for the office.
You
don't want to use the box tissue all the time because it's more expensive. And you can put a toilet paper inside here and probably put some of your stuffs in here.
That's right. Another great thing for the office is this little post-it memo sheet, and it comes with a little shelf for your pencils and pens. So they're really useful and inexpensive, and they're really cute for the upcoming year. So we can't wait to see what kind of other Korean furniture is yet to come.
A lot to look forward to, and probably a New Year's gift for Minjung and
You get a roll of toilet paper
or
for
could you
our
buy
New
one
Year's
for
gift.
me? Yeah.
Didn't you?
Well, there are so
more
much
from
more.
you.
We have kitchen rolls. This could be a
This is
diffuser.
so cute, huh?
So much
And this
use.
is, you were saying, is the chair, huh?
Right.
Yeah, I think I want one for my toilet too.
So you would sit here and look at the mirror
and do your makeup.
Do your makeup. Interesting.
Minjung is about to buy it.
Oh, this is perfect. Actually,
Right?
good
It is.
mine.
All right. This is where we say goodbye for this Thursday edition of Korea Today.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Look at that.